that as awkward for you guys as it was for me. I think Tucker invited me to go on a trip to see her boyfriend with her. I don't think that's as fun as it sounds. All right, I want to let you guys know that I have bad judgment. I try my best, I really do. I try to do the right thing, but it doesn't always work out. Last week I saw some kids getting loaded into a white van, and I jumped right in there to intercede. Turns out it was a school field trip. Oops, my bad. Oh gosh, yeah, that was fun. So we do a lot of these shows, and I do one up in St. Mary's every couple of weeks. Really cool little place right there by the river, beautiful setting, and the people are really entertaining, are up for entertainment. They're like you guys, they're into it, they're enthusiastic, they pay attention. We don't always get that, so it was cool. I brought a couple of Jacksonville comedians up there. We'll use some fake names. We'll call them Alex Sanders and Alex Fitzjohn. And they acted like I brought them to that town in Little House on the Prairie in 1893. I mean, I was mortified. They're walking up to people like, "Excuse me, sir, do you have television where you live? Have you heard of the internet? What's the plumbing situation?" I'm like, "Guys, we're not in outer Mongolia. This is St. Mary's, Georgia. It's 1 mile over the border, 45 minutes away by interstate." Oh my God, I was so mortified. But then the crowd turned on me after I had their back like that. Yeah. I was trying to do what we call pandering. We're in Georgia, so I said, "How about those Bulldogs?" Yeah. Right? And they went, "Boo," which I'm confused. And I said, "Well, do you like football? Because I thought you said you did." And they were like, "Yeah, absolutely, favorite sport." All right, I'm a little more confused. "Who do you root for?" "Camden County." I'm like, "What's that?" And like, "That's the local high school." I'm like, "Oh, okay, folks. I had your back here with these folks, but I gotta be honest with you. Getting that obsessed with children, it's a felony in most places." Yeah, that really happened. That's the other thing. If I come up here and tell you something's a true story, pretty good chance it's not. Except I have told you a couple of true stories today, so it just keeps you on your toes. Christmas came and went. My family wanted a dog for Christmas, but our cat said no. So no dog. Let me tell you a quick story about Christmas. Christmas made a lot of impact this year. You know how like sports teams like to do these stunts, like basketball teams have halftime shows, right, where they do things on the court to entertain the crowd, but when they're not playing basketball? Well, the Charlotte Hornets had this great idea. They brought an 11-year-old kid down from the stands and had him read his letter to Santa, to their mascot, Buzz. I don't know why they did that and they couldn't spring. Well, it'll make sense why they couldn't spring for a Santa as we go along. Anyway, so he reads the letter and the kid goes, "Dear Santa, all I really want for Christmas is a PlayStation 5. Not a crappy PlayStation like my dad has that doesn't connect to the internet. I want the good one, the 5. He was very specific. Anyway, here comes Buzz with a wrapped gift. Hands it to the kid. Opens it. You guessed it. PlayStation 5, right? Pretty cool. This kid's beaming. I mean, you never see a kid so happy in your life, right? What they didn't tell him is this was a skit. He was an actor, and when they got off the court, they took the PlayStation back. It was a prop, and they gave him a basketball jersey. It gets worse. It was a Charlotte Hornets basketball jersey. Nobody wants that. All right, so fast forward 48 hours. The media and social media and the regular media have not been kind to the Charlotte Hornets. They're not getting good press over this one, so they decide to make right, and they give the kid the PlayStation 5. You can see why they couldn't spring for the Santa Claus, right? Or they thought they couldn't. They bought the team for $3 billion last year. I guess they were a little tight on cash. But they gave the kid the PlayStation 5. They couldn't stop there. They also gave him a VIP experience to another Charlotte Hornets game. He doesn't want that. He has PTSD from the last game he went to. He's like, what are they going to do next time? Tell him these aren't your real parents' kids. Send him home with somebody else? God, terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Anyone Jaguar fans in here? Yeah, pretty bad year, right? Yeah. I was offered an opportunity to go to have club seats for the last game of the year. $200. I mean, I needed the money, but I wasn't going to watch that crap. Maybe next year. That's another thing. You guys sick of that as I am? That whole wait till next year thing in sports? That appeals to me less and less the older I get, I got to be honest with you. Let's do it now. How about now? Let's go around the room. I want to meet some of you guys. You guys are a good crowd. Where are you from, sir?
Originally New Jersey, but I live in Callahan right now.
You know we're not in Callahan, right?
Since when?
You just dropping by?
Yeah.
I was under the impression everybody was here kind of long term. But okay. Oh, you haven't told him. DeAndre, you're going to have to be a little more clear with everybody. Sir, what's your name?
Bob.
Bob, you're not going home.
Oh,
But you got a theater. Do you have a theater at your house?
a little one. It's called a 25-inch screen.
Bob, work with me here. We'll play along with the bit, okay? You're messing up the bit. The answer is no, I don't have a home theater at my house. I picked the wrong guy for that one.
Sorry.
That's okay. Let's get away from Bob. I was messing things up. Where are you from, ma'am?
Right now from Jacksonville.
See, she learned, right? It's like, be specific. He's going to pick. Where are you originally from?
Originally?
Yeah.
Gosh, I was born in Jacksonville.
I don't like where this is going. Oh, so you were like Tucker. You were born here and took off and somehow came back. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's good. We're done with you, Bob. We're done with you, Bob. You messed it up. I'm kidding. Bob's a good sport. Yeah. I think I can get away from him though in the speeder though, so I'm not too worried. All right, sir. Where are you from? Miami. Oh, that's fun. We're doing a show in Miami in the spring, or at least people have told us that. We're going to hold them to it. I'm going to be pretty upset if it doesn't happen. Are you in the part that's still above water? Okay, that's good. Because that's a fair question when it comes to Miami these days. Some of it is, like, oh, here. Yeah. You can still see the sidewalk. All right. Is anybody here from someplace like far away? All right, we'll start with you, sir.
Rochester, New York.
We'll go to you then. No. Rochester. That's a nice place. I've been to Rochester. That is a cool place.
I've been there in decades.
Well, that's fair. All right. So you don't know. I was going to see if you knew Fletch.
Close.
Andrew set all these people up for you.
No, he didn't. I've worked with him before. He didn't do that. He's lucky he remembered we had a show. All right, man, you had your hand up.
From Alexandria, Virginia.
Oh, so you like all my political stuff, but
Delicious.
nobody else would.
Blue. Please be blue, just for change.
I got one for you, real quick. Can I indulge? Do you mind? Okay. Why do the MAGA people still wear the hats?
I don't know.
I mean, we know. You know? Yeah, okay. All right, see, we started something now. Now, I walk back a step and I'm in a rally. No, I'm not going to do it. I'll do it later at the nightclub. Sorry? Whoa, jeez.
We didn't hear that.
Get the car started. We're going to have to get out of here. Do not use the elevator.
Can we bring my uncle?
For those of you who didn't hear, she told me, watch out, you don't want to be lynched. Ironically enough, I do a show every month at Lynch's Irish Pub. Oh, I'm going to tell you guys a joke that doesn't work at Lynch's, because I don't usually read the room. So I went to an Iceman game, the hockey team in town. I went there like last week, and they did a throwback night. And they pretended to be the Lizard Kings, which was the team from the 1990s that was here. It was a lot of fun. All the graphics were from the 90s. The concessions were 90s prices. The uniforms were the same, were different. It was really cool. And all the promotions they did on the ice in between periods were the same stuff they used to do in the 90s. It got me to thinking, have we always done this? I never noticed, but maybe we did. Like in 1972, would they have like throwback days at Yankee Stadium and go, we're taking you back to the days of the Great Bambino and Lou Gehrig and Murderers Row, the Roaring Twenties. Because some of those promotions from the 20s would be problematic today. For example, in the 6th inning, they had the traditional throwing of the Irish off the upper deck. They hated that joke at Lynch's Irish Pub, and I don't know why. Right? Who knew? Oh gosh, you guys are fun. Let's go to the front row. They're trying to hide over here. Man, where are you from?
Long Island.
Me too. This is crazy. Oh my God. Do you know Marion Lee Minesini? Do you know Marion Lee Minesini?
I married a Chicagoan.
Sure, okay. I love it how they all have bits. I feel like I'm interviewing politicians. Like, you can ask me anything you want. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. For those of you who can hear, I asked her if she knew my aunt and uncle, and she said she married a Chicagoan and moved to Florida. No, your answer was better, ma'am. Yeah. We're going to do an open mic here in about 5 minutes. What do you think? Oh, that was great. All right, so you were Chicago and Long Island. Did you keep your football and basketball team allegiances, or did you go with his? Did you root for like the Giants or the Jets?
For the Chicago Cubs.
See, this is what happens. Men just take over, right? Like, you spend your whole life rooting for the Giants and the Jets, and like, no, Bears. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Okay. How about you, ma'am? Where are you from?
Jacksonville. I'm a Jacksonville native.
Okay. We're going to dig a little deeper. What part of Jacksonville?
West Side.
It's not getting better. Do you know anyone in Jacksonville who lives somewhere cool, like, you know, South Side or maybe Ponte Vedra? Okay. All right. All right. Wait. Let me go. Did you grow up in Ortega?
No.
No, okay. I have jokes about Ortega. I went to Episcopal High School, and all the rich kids in Ortega went to my high school, and they made fun of me all through high school, and I haven't gotten over it. Yeah, I tell some stories about them. I change all the names, of course. You know, I talk about people like Kirk Zambetti, it's a random name I thought up, or Jay Fan. Jay Fan actually used to be your state representative right here, like 10 years ago. Didn't work out. He was talking about friends who were bad at their jobs. He was a banker, and he ran out of money. That's pretty hard to do. I mean, you think about it. I mean, that's one of those jobs. People just give you money, and you hang on to it. So it's pretty bad if you're running out of it. Oh gosh. All right, this is fun. You guys are fun. Let's go off some of these silly ones here. I travel a lot, and I was in South Carolina, and I checked into a really nice hotel. Right, it was like a 4-star place, and they had these little throw pillows on the couch, and they had sayings on them. And one of them said, "If you're from the South, you're going to get why I was upset." On the pillow, stitched right there, it said, "Bless your heart." What did I do? You know, I paid my bill. I kept the place clean. That's pretty rude when you think about it. Yeah. You ever wonder why Walmart bathrooms are always closed for cleaning, and yet they're perpetually filthy? I mean, that's hard to do too. I don't know what they're doing in there, but Tucker and I work in Walmarts now, and it's true, right? We go into a place, the bathroom's closed for cleaning. We do all of our work. We're there a couple of hours. We come back still closed. Maybe that's where they party. I don't know. They're definitely not partying in the back because we can't ever find anybody when we need help. So we have got, I got one for you. You guys might relate to this. Anyone here had a colonoscopy? Probably, right? I just had my second one, and you know, you start at 50, and then they brought me back in at 55. And here's the deal. It went fine, so to get that out of the way. But right as the anesthesiologist has started to administer the anesthesia to me, I'm like 10 seconds from gone. The nurse says, "One more thing, Mr. Steele. In the case of a life-threatening situation, do you consent to have a blood transfusion?" Yeah, I think I do. And maybe we could have brought this up before I'm about to pass out. Is there any other circumstances we need to go over? Because hey, here's one for you. If you have to turn me into Darth Vader to save my life, go ahead. Anything you need to do. If you need to inject me with bleach, please do. I'd like to wake up from this. So you have my full consent. And again, in the future, let's cover this, a little bit before I'm going under. But it all worked out. Tucker, how much time you got left?
I got 10 minutes.
Okay. Sorry, I brought you inside baseball here. We usually do that before the show, but we're going to do it now. A couple of things here. Let's see. Are you as sick as I am of people making laws about driving that are about me protecting you from yourself? For example, move over, it's the law. How about just stay out of the road? We're all going to be fine. And don't get me started on school zones. If those kids aren't smart enough to not run out into the street, maybe school's not the right place for them. We can get them working in the factory. It worked just fine back in the 20s. Some of those kids turned out okay. Did anyone watch the Olympics this year? Yeah, in Paris. Pretty fun, right? I like the opening ceremonies. I'm kind of a geek that way. This year they had the whole thing where they came in on the boats. But one thing struck me as odd at the end. See if you guys picked up on this too. They had a Joan of Arc actor light the cauldron. She basically pulled out an arrow and shot it into the cauldron, and that thing burst into flames. Beautiful, right? But I thought it was pretty insensitive considering what happened to her. I'm going to have to explain it. Okay, that's fine. See, Joan of Arc was burned at the stake, so, Anyway, let's skip, that really went well. So let's skip to the closing ceremonies. Was anyone with me that was kind of hoping Tom Cruise was going to fall when he rappelled in onto the stadium? Yeah, because Tom Cruise is in all those Mission Impossible movies, and he always does his own stunts, which they think is cool, and I just think it's stupid. Because if you're worth hundreds of millions of dollars, you can pay people to do that stuff for you. Other people do. Bruce Willis wasn't doing all that stuff in Die Hard, but every movie has to top himself. They've made 8 of them, and like one time he jumped out of a plane without a parachute. I wish he'd try that again. And the other one, I think he climbed outside of a building, like 100 stories in the air. But this one, the latest one, he did his craziest stunt yet. He did all of his own acting. Yeah, I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan. I'm sure he's fine, he's probably the coolest 5'2" man you're ever gonna meet. You probably should talk about your favorite actor. I gave her the idea. I'll save that for you. Just remember those Oscar nominations, they don't throw them around, Tucker. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna leave you with one more fun thing that I saw. I told you about open mics, right? And how much fun we all have at them. The worst open mics in the world, DeAndre backed me up, mixed genre open mics. How desperate do we have to be that we're gonna go in a room with a bunch of poets and musicians, people just reading stuff, all so we can get 5 minutes of comedy in front of people who could care less. But I went to one in St. Augustine when I first started doing comedy, and there was a guy there who brought his daughter, and she was like 9. So right away I'm like, this is great. And very nice little girl though, and she was talking to me and stuff, and she wanted me to do some of my jokes for her, which I didn't do. And then the father says, my wife couldn't be here, but I want her to hear what I have to say with this song. Would you please record it for me? And he gives me his camera, and I'm like, sure, fine, sit next to the girl. This dude gets up there with his rhythm guitar and starts banging out Fleetwood Mac's Go Your Own Way with a passion you can't fake. And I looked over at that little girl and thought, somebody's gonna have to tell her, Mommy and Daddy are getting a divorce. Oh gosh, you guys have been really great. I'm supposed to tell you to follow us on Instagram and stuff, but just call me. You guys have been great. We'll bring you some shows. Let's get Tucker back up here to wrap things up, and she can tell you all about her good buddy in movies.
Woo! Sean. He did. He set me up.